daga.rhea and welcome to this podcast. As you know, marketing is an ever-evolving industry. With that in mind, I've started this podcast so we can talk about new and creative ways of running marketing channels as well as forming strategies. Be it branding, digital ads, influencers, social media, SEO, and lots more. Consider this like a friendly chat with a colleague where you learn from each other's experiences and insights. So, let's explore together what's next in marketing. Hi Ayush, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you because we have so many interesting conversations even otherwise. Let me formally introduce you. You're the marketing lead at textbook.com and you've worked in a lot of agencies before this. Some renowned ones like Ad Global, 360, Merkle Socrates, and you also had your agency, your own agency for about 3 years. So it's a very good mix of experience that you have, and I think it'll be very insightful in this conversation.
Had a lot of conversations before, and I wish we would have recorded some of them. So I guess this gives the chance for us to record this, and I think it's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, it would have been a gold mine of files, but nevertheless, we can start now.
Definitely.
All right. So to warm you up and test your presence of mind in the field of marketing, I'm going to ask you a few fun rapid fire questions. All right. So are you ready for it?
I feel like coffee with Karan.
Yeah, coffee with Karan marketing edition, basically.
Yeah, definitely. Coffee with Rhea marketing edition. Let's go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, please go on. Already.
So the first question is, if you were a brand, what would your motto be?
Clarity. It will be clarity if I were the brand. Why? Because I personally stand for complexity in just the operations that I can take care of. So how can I make data-driven decisions and how do I bring things together? But for the end customer, it has to be as simple as ABCD. So what I've understood over the years is that experts talk logistics and amateurs they talk about complexity to the customers. So yeah,
that is so true. I've heard this in uni as well, right? If you can't explain a concept in simple words, then you probably don't know
it. True. So no big words required, no heavy talk required.
All right. So the second question. Now this is like a hypothetical question. You've been given an elephant. You can't give it away or sell it. What would you do with the elephant?
I cannot give it away or sell it.
Yes.
Oh, I don't need to sell it. I mean, I have a damn elephant. I mean, that's an amazing, marketing marketing trick to actually use. I mean, when I think about elephants, I immediately think back to how Robert Branson actually used elephants in New York, and he actually did a lot of marketing for Virgin Atlantic back then. So to me, it's a great opportunity. And if I have an elephant and I cannot give it away, I'll definitely put it to service. No means, when I say this, I don't mean to say that, the elephant would be troubled or not fed properly. Obviously, that should be taken care of. Elephant is a living being first. And then, of course, let's do some marketing. I mean, you have so many eyeballs, right? So what can you do with it? It's a lockdown. You can definitely take away elephants, sit on top of it, have a couple of posters across on the elephant, and write down a brand and take it around, man. It's fun.
And traveling on an elephant is also following all social distancing rules.
Oh yeah, quite distance, right? You're so high.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. All right, so I'll move on to the next question. Now, the way I think of a brand is basically an identity or something that you associate with a person, a company, or anything. So I want you to describe these 3 brands in 3 words. Okay?
All right, fair enough.
Okay. So the first one is Amitabh Bachchan.
Okay. Amitabh Bachchan. Word number 1, integrity, voice, and thirdly, trustworthiness.
Yeah. I can see that. The second one is Shah Rukh Khan.
Oh wow. To me, Shah Rukh Khan is a bigger brand than Amitabh Bachchan is. To me, so
Interesting.
I'll say all intelligent, definitely intelligent, uh, glamour for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and human touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. That's really good. Like the way I feel like the way we define these brands, right, is also the way brand associations are made and like celebrities endorsements are done. So it's very
True.
vital to like figure out what is your brand. And I have one
Definitely.
more. It's Sachin Tendulkar.
So Sachin Tendulkar, one is God, obviously. I've grown up, watching him. So yeah, seen him that way. Reliable,
Mm.
and thirdly, humble.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that was fun. Okay, now let's move on to the next section. Why everyone's here? What do you think? What's next in marketing?
Oh, what next in marketing? I keep thinking, when you ask me that we should do this podcast, the first things that came to me is like, what is not crowded? What is the blue ocean? I think we have done enough, if not, 100%, in how to drive the campaigns. I think what
Mhm.
is missing is like once you have the right person, once your ad is at the right time in front of the right person, I think it's time to figure out what to say. So that's the area of copywriting. And as you know, there are like three pillars when it talks about digital marketing. That is it. So, there is CTR, there is click through rates, then you have a
Mhm.
conversion rate, and there is everything in between, right? So everything is between
Yeah.
is taken care of. There are a lot of, campaigns which are like done by Google and Facebook, which are done on their own. You don't actually have to do manually anything at all to actually get them to run. Example, as you see, USC campaigns for that matter, right?
Yeah.
But what do you do before? How do you get the right CTR? So that's the top funnel step, right? Yeah, I think the next thing is improving copy. The next thing is saying the right thing in front of the right audience at the right time.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a very good one. Right now, what we do as like a typical performance marketer approach is analyzing a bunch of like CTRs and then checking, okay, maybe this one is better. Let's just take this. I don't think we really think that okay, we can say something better beyond there is a sale. There is nothing else that we really look after. I think we get really drowned by like numbers and that sort of analytics that we don't like look beyond what are the qualitative factors that can affect these numbers, right? So like I said, like sale messaging is one way that people think is one. I think for most people they think that is the only way of upping like your CTRs. What other ways do you think there are?
So, Ria, the idea is that I think, look at from the wrong end of the telescope when we talk about writing copies. And it's not about what you think as a marketer. It's not about what I may think as a brand or an agency. At the end of the day, the customer has to click on it. As simple as that. And by that, I'm not talking about clickbait. So I really believe that, if it's not transparency, I think it doesn't make sense. So
Mhm.
it has to be transparent. The brand has to earn that trust, and every brand has to do that fair bit, obviously. And this is the reason you might have noticed that Amazon enjoys much higher CTRs than, I don't know, other e-commerce players. Because why? You trust Amazon. They have built a trust with you. Amazon is just one example. Of course, there are other brands as well. Now, what happens is how it really works is there has to be a process in place to understand what your particular customers are looking forward to.
Mhm.
Mostly, Indian market is shown in a way, at least in the marketers' reports or analyses, is that Indians are price sensitive. We are looking for affordable things to buy, and as soon as you throw me a bone with a 10% discount, I'll jump on it. But
Mhm.
that's the case with every brand out there. If I talk about Flipkart or Amazon or Myntra or Jabong or a very small store, obviously discounts are going to work. But is that the only thing? I don't think so. People actually go in to buy something else as well. And I think unless we do enough surveys, I think we'll not find out the, you know, five things rather. One thing is motivation. Why are people there on the website or the mobile app? Second thing is the value proposition. What exactly can we offer to them that answers their particular problem? Then once they're a bit interested, then I talk about FUDs. FUDs is fears, uncertainties, and doubts. So before buying, obviously. So that thing has to be taken care of in a funnel-wise approach. If I might tell you, I think I've discussed this in an offline conversation before as well with you. Um, the idea is to look at it exactly how you would want to talk to a girl in a bar that you would want to, I don't know, date for that matter, right?
I remember that seminar, yes.
So imagine you go over to the girl in a bar, you say, hey, hi, and would you marry me? I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how smart or handsome you look. It's going to be thrown in your face. That's stupid, right? No, you
Yes.
don't do that. That's stupid. What do? You say, hey, hi, can I buy you a drink? Can I speak with you? I saw you from some. You conjure up a list of pickup lines that you might have read somewhere, right? Whatever. But then you grab some attention, be genuine, and then you pick some interest, and that is all you have to do in the first interaction. So as marketers, what we have been doing wrong, personally, what I feel is that, hey, we go for new audiences all completely. We say, hey, there's the product, there's the discount, go ahead and buy. That's stupid, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you brought up an interesting point, that digital marketers need to start thinking in that direction. Would you suggest a sort of framework, or how can somebody who's purely an analytical person, let's say, how do they get into the game of copywriting?
If you look at TV, if you look at newspapers, people have already discovered better frameworks. And
Yes.
personally, I believe that we have one amazing power that no other media actually has, is that we can A/B test. For a newspaper, for a TV, if it's gone live, you've paid for it. As simple as this. Of course, you can run multiple ads, but that A/B testing is extremely costly for offline. But on online, it's not that way. In an online campaign, what I can actually do is simply run, for example, if I can run a Facebook campaign, I can run campaign budget optimization, and I can put two ad sets with different ads on it. As simple as this. Facebook will do the job for me.
Right.
Spread the traffic right in the middle. But having said this, the framework can actually be brought down to, if it were me, I'll divide it into very simple steps. First of all, you don't have to learn about the customers just by looking Google Analytics. Google Analytics basically tells you the touch points of where the customer has gone. It does not talk to you about the intent. It doesn't talk to you about what they're looking for. You just see the journey. And that's half of the picture, frankly. It is an important part, of course, but still half. And it also depends on how the UX of your website actually is. So what you can do, number one, is to set up a survey. There are many tools out there for that. There are two kinds of surveys. The first part is you can have a visitor survey. You can place it on the home pages or pre-buying pages of the website, basically, and ask very simple 3-4 questions. And ask questions like, okay, what are you here to do? What are you interested in? Ask very open-ended, basic questions with answers that they can choose from. Obviously, multiple choice,
Yeah.
and then let them do it. And do it for free. Obviously, we don't have to pay for every survey, right?
Yeah.
So, and then let the traffic run its magic and collect some ideas. This first survey will give you the idea of when people come to buy on your website, what are they actually looking for? Okay, that's the first end. Put another survey right after the payment has been done. So you might be doing some transactions already. Put a survey after that. So after I have made a purchase, can I show a survey maybe via an email or via pop-up message on the website and say, hey, hi, thank you for buying, and I appreciate, we'll deliver it to you as soon as possible. Can you answer these 3 quick questions for us to understand you a bit better? And then most people who have actually paid right then have a higher propensity to actually write down a survey because it's just 3 questions. Plus, they're already pumped up. So yeah, they're interested. So it's easier to get it from them. And then you ask what lies on the other end of the funnel. पहले क्या था कि you ask them कि यार तुम यहाँ आए क्यों हो? Then you ask, okay, after you made the purchase, क्यों खरीदा भाई? Why did you buy from us? So you ask different kind of questions there. And then you try to draw the link of what your value proposition actually is. कि क्या खरीदने आए थे? What is the problem they're trying to solve? People tell them in the service themselves. You don't have to guess. You don't have to ask a founder. They might not know. It's not their fault, but they might not know. So you get those answers in there. And in front of every problem statement that they say, I'm here to buy this, I'm here to solve this problem, write down, maybe use this as an Excel, write down equivalent feature that you think your product can actually alleviate the pain for them. And then once you have that feature, flip it around on the third column and write down how the world will look more beautiful after they have bought your product. Yeah. So one single rule, that I would like to add here is every time you write a word, you or a copy for that matter, you simply have to answer one question that your customer is going to ask you, what is in it for me? इससे मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? If your copy, every single line that you write is answering that question, it's fine. Otherwise, कुछ तो भी लिखते हो इसमें SPF 15 है, what's in it for me? Then you say SPF 15 means these three things. Better sunlight protection. I'm just telling you, I don't know about SPF.
No, yeah, but that makes sense. Yeah. Um, I want to ask one more thing. See, the way you said, I can basically, all the people that are visiting my website, I can take data from them, data points from them through these surveys, which is a very good way, the way you were talking about. But also, what about the people who haven't visited my website, right? Like, like, as a company, I'm in a phase where I want to really scale up, right? And there are a lot of audiences that I still haven't touched. In that case, what do you recommend? Like, basically you don't have a feedback loop over here, so what would you recommend in such a case?
Instagram stories have poll ads as well. So, I mean, to me, it's the easiest answer if your website already does not have the traffic. And the reason is because obviously, since you don't have the traffic, you don't have the privilege. Not all the companies are going to be like your company and my company. Not every company has that kind of traffic, and I totally get that. The idea is use broad tools like Insta Stories so that you can pop up questions to audiences while they're surfing on Instagram. It's
Oh,
pretty
wow.
easy. And on depending on each particular answer, you can actually take them through each link as well separately. So, for example, I ask you on an Insta story, what are you looking to solve? What's the biggest skin problem you have? You say, hey, I am looking for the same acne solution. So, as soon as you select that, I say, hey, great, thank you. Check out this particular link. We have an amazing acne solution for you. As simple as this. Then you drive traffic to the right pages as well.
Yeah, wow, that's an awesome idea. Like using organically, because Instagram also has a story like the choosing feature, right? So you could also choose
Yeah.
things, and like that could be just a like cost-free way of actually surveying your audience.
You can do this cost free and you can also do it paid if you want.
So you were telling me an anecdote the last time you were talking about how when you were actually like running your own agency, you still did copywriting. Like walk me through why did you do it, and what was your experience and learning from it?
Well, Rhea, what I've understood is that when I was running my agency, first of all, I did not have the resources to have a different copywriter and a different ad marketing person. So at that time, I had to choose resources of who to hire very much in a priority fashion. So obviously, we were hiring people who run and manage ads first, and people who create designs. Copywriting was something that I personally have been somehow been attracted to for some reason. So I still have an infatuation to writing copies. So I like that actually. And that actually stems from, my belief that I like people a lot. I am really genuinely interested in people of what makes them tick, why people do the things that they do. And by the way, every time you do a survey, it's not 100% accurate, because if you ask any random person on earth, you say, hey, what should be your schedule of the day? They'll tell you, hey, I'll wake up in the morning, I'll do this exercise, I'll have a healthy breakfast. Do they really do it? They don't. Most people lie.
It's idealistic.
Because yeah, that's idealistic. That's not why people do it. And the idea is to observe what they say and what they do, and where is the discrepancy, and where is the subset of that Venn diagram, that you can understand. अच्छा यार ये कह रहा है और ये कर रहा है, मतलब इतना तो common है. That's where you're supposed to hit. I like people. I like people when they buy, and most decisions of purchases are actually done emotionally. They are justified by using intellect, but then they're actually done emotionally. So when you go to buy a house, you don't buy it because it's perfect property and you calculate its value and you do other things. No, no. You buy a house, oh wow, it looks good. It makes me feel like, okay, yaar, yahi to mera Shah Rukh Khan ka mannat hai. This is something I would love to buy. And I'll live good here. I'll come in, drive in my car every day, and, perfect gardens in the evening. You imagine a rosy picture of what your future would look like when you buy that purchase, when you think about going for that purchase. And then you justify, Are yaar, area bhi to acha hai. It's good. The property is also good. So you justify later on. So the
Yeah.
idea is strike at the emotion end actually, and then things will follow.
Yeah, that makes sense
So
because
that's the
I
idea.
think a lot of our decision making is also subconscious, right? Like we might consciously think something, but subconscious mind has its own thought processes going on, and a lot of times, I guess the conscious mind is supporting the decisions of the subconscious mind, like the way you're saying it, right? Like emotions and reasoning sort of thing. So yeah, that does make sense. So I guess in that sort of scenario, you would either want to like read up on like how psychology works in general in that specific, like segment of customers, or maybe watch these customers in their natural habitat.
Obviously the idea is to watch what they do, and this is the very reason why I'm very usually interested in looking over the heat maps of why how people use my website.
Mm-hmm.
So when you place a heat map, you basically are looking over their shoulders and watching them how they move over the mouse and how they move over the phone and how they scroll, and that's impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something I like watching actually. That
Wow.
gives you so much insight of how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
it's a long term process, and it can be boring as well.
Yeah, but I didn't think of like watching customers like in an online setup, like whenever I think of watching customers, it's probably like in a store or like in a mall, something of that sort. All right. Yeah. I think that's all for this podcast. Next time, hopefully, we'll
Sure.
have a round two, and because there are so many more things to discuss with you. But thank you so much for like coming on here. It was so much fun. So many interesting anecdotes, and I hope everybody got to learn a few things the way I did. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you, Ria. It was a pleasure interacting with you as always, every single time. I really appreciate your cheerful attitude. At the same time, the questions that you ask are not, theoretical. They really make you think, "Yeah, अरे इसका क्या answer करेंगे?" So it's interesting that you ask this question, and I hope they actually help people who are not even looking actively for this question.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I know I learned a lot. So, in the next episode, we will talk about how programmatic can also be used for performance marketing. Yes, that's right, it can go beyond branding too. So, before we move on to the next episode, if you guys have some interesting answers to the rapid fire, would love to hear how would you describe what is the brand of Amitabh Bachchan or Shah Rukh Khan or maybe Sachin Tendulkar, and also more importantly, what would you do with an elephant if you were given one? Comment below.